Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida, here with a project at my very own home. We want to thank Flarmor, who sponsored this video. They provided all the materials you see here, so we could do a how-to video on how to install weed barrier fabric or landscape fabric, whatever you want to call it. Flarmor has some options for you on Amazon.com. You can see the links down below in the description. Woven or non-woven. They even have a row cover, so if you want to make a little greenhouse or you need a barrier between seeds or seedlings so that birds and insects aren't getting in there. They also have a dedicated user manual to help you figure out what's the best product for your application. Do you need woven? Do you need non-woven? What's the thickness? All that kind of information you're going to find there, so they kind of walk you through everything. The project we have at hand is refurbishing a mailbox landscape bed. We're going to enlarge it and also add some more plants. So we'll take a look at all that and show you how to install weed barrier fabric. We're going to be using a 4-foot by 50-foot with the 100 GSM of the non-woven fabric. Our first step is to go ahead and excavate the rest of our landscape bed. Remember, we've got new plants we're going to put in here, so we need to expand the existing bed to make room for them. So there's the newly excavated bed. We're going to go ahead and rake everything out to try and clean it up. So all that we have left is just some nice dirt ready for planting and our landscape fabric. At least for us, because this crepe myrtle is here, this might be a little bit more difficult in your project because we've got these crepe myrtle roots to contend with, but it just depends on where you're planting and what you already have there. You're also going to want this ground as level as possible. You don't really want a whole bunch of bumps when you're installing your landscape fabric. Now we're going to roll out the approximate amount that we need. We'll go a little bit bigger because you always want more rather than less. All right, so we've got our strip of fabric laid out. We're going to go ahead and put it on and figure out where we need to cut around for our existing plants. So here what I'm doing is just cutting a little X in the top of this fabric with the hopes that I can kind of feed the plant up through it. Again, that'll just depend on what kind of plant you have and how big it is. And all right, so you can see that plant kind of popped up there. There's also a few little guys that are really just sticks. I don't know if my wife wants to keep them or not, but I don't want to get yelled at. So, and these ones I'm just going to do a circle around because they're so short. They aren't pliable enough to feed up through. So we'll just do a hole, get them up that way. We're going to go ahead and take these galvanized staples. I think they're 6 inches. You can get a pack of 500 for pretty cheap on Amazon. We're going to go ahead and pound them in all the way around, and that'll help keep this tarp or this fabric down. It'll keep it from moving and shifting, and as time goes on, it'll keep it where we want it. All right, so we've got our fabric more or less everywhere it needs to be. We've got it pinned down. We've got it as flat as about I can care to get it. The next step is going to be planting, which we'll show you a couple of those, but not the whole thing. So basically what you're going to do is, let's say you want to plant right here, you'll go ahead and cut in an X, and then you'll be able to take the dirt out of those flaps, and then you'll put your plant in and put the dirt back in and then just put those flaps back on. So you don't have to have a cat that eats sticks to do this project, but it is rather entertaining. So here we've got one of our plants. We are going to just use a little box cutter here. So that's not as close to the cat as it looked. And we're gonna cut a little slit in here and then we'll dig it out. Get out of here. I got a giant tree root too. And now that the hole is dug, we'll go ahead and pop this in. Go ahead and fill that dirt in. All right, and there's one. Now you got about 400 to go.
Oh, I want him to get off the flat.
All right, so we are finally done. Turns out it was pretty frustrating because of all the roots the crepe myrtle had. That made it the most difficult because we couldn't really dig very easily. But we ended up getting it all done, and we've got the fabric down underneath this layer of compost mulch kind of type deal. But I hope this video helped you. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I respond to comments no matter how old a video gets. Links will be in the description as well. And again, a big thanks to Flarmor for sponsoring this video and providing us the materials we need to make this video. If you'd like to see some more videos, here's a few that YouTube thinks you might like. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.